introduce the history of Apple products. Apple has been used the lowercase I to begin many of its product names ever since Steve Jobs introduced the first iMac computer in 1998. And then the following products is iMac, iBook, iPod, iTunes, and mini iPod. And the latest one is i-fone, which is released in 2007. And since Apple's products become more and more popular, so it creates the I language. Originally, the I in the iMac means internet. It comes from the marriage of the excitement of the internet with the simplicity of Macintosh operating system. So the users can get on the internet very simple and fast. And then since it's a personal computer, so it is not only a personal computer but also a beautiful standalone product. So that's what the individual means. And it also aims to educate and instruct people. So because people can find more and more resources on the internet. And the last one is that they hope the release of iMac can inspire the Apple company to create more and more useful products in the future. And then next I'm going to explain the 4 categories of trademarks. The first one is generic names. It contains the entire group or class. Because it's generic, so it cannot be protected. For example, Coke is a generic name, but Pepsi Coke is not. It's specific. Then the second one is descriptive names, which I will explain later. And the third one is suggestive names. It is between the range of descriptive names and fanciful names. Sometimes it requires some imagination to connect the name and the products together. For example, the Greyhound is a bus line in the US. And the last one is the fanciful or arbitrary names. It often uses unknown or uncommon words to as the product's names, and it receives the highest protection because it's unique. And the descriptive names means it describe the qualities of or ingredients and characteristics of the products, and also the merit of the product. And sometimes it contains impart information directly. For example, the food fair, it's a grocery store, and the Holiday Inn, it's a hotel business. Descriptive names can be protected if it has a secondary meaning. And if a word has been used exclusively or promoted for a long time by business, when people heard the name of the product, people can only associate it with the products. So it has the secondary meanings. So once the product has a secondary meaning, it is no longer important that it is descriptive or not. For example, it's the McDonald's. The Mac prefix originally means son, but since McDonald's is a huge business, it has a new secondary meaning, so it can be protected. We've just mentioned McDonald's, so I'm going to compare the case of McDonald's and the Apple. And in McDonald's case, the opponents are McDonald's versus McSleep, the quality in, and the main argument is the Mac language, and the commercial area is food versus hotel. And as for in Apple's case, the opponents are iPhone versus the iF. And the main argument is the registration time. In the commercial area, they are both the telecommunication, and so which is against the Aunt-Jemima doctrine and cause confusion. Yeah. And let me explain what is the Aunt-Jemima doctrine. It's that the trademark is protectable not only from an act of copying, but also from the use of any similar mark that would likely make the buyer think that the item bearing the similar mark comes from the same source as the trademarked item. And the conclusion of the comparison is that McDonald won because the Mac language, although Apple creates the I language, the main reason why they lost is that the registration time of iPhone is later than IF in Mexico. Also, I language hasn't been very popular, well-known, and strong as Mac language. Last, iPhone and IF alone the same commercial area, so it is against the Aunt-Jemima doctrine that caused confusion.
So we still have one heavyweight guest expert to give us some reflection.
No? Okay.
So ladies and gentlemen, here comes the real expert, Dr. Zheng Jingjing.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my honor and pleasure to be here today. Well, I have to say this is a very interesting group presentation, and I just learned that we got five students present this presentation today, and 5 of them are not law students, right? And I have to say it's very impressive. I cannot believe it, what I just heard. Actually, I'm not an expert. I'm a law professor, but I'm not an trademark expert. Actually, I never took this course before. When I was in college, I never took this course, and when I worked on my master's degree and a JD degree, I never had the chance to take trademark or intellectual property course because my major is labor law. So I'm not an expert. I'm here to learn and appreciate the presentation. But anyway, I have to say this is very impressive and the topic is very interesting. But may I ask questions? Is it okay?
Sure.
Oh, because I don't know what to comment because it's perfect. But but I'm just interested in some questions because the presentation just you run too fast. So I'm a little bit confused about something. First of all, the arguments of i-fone you just presented, I think it's very strong arguments. And the IF arguments, well, I know the major argument of IF is I register first, so I should be protected. But when you prepare this presentation, how do you think? How do you balance these two different arguments? Do you really agree with the court that IF should prevail in this case?
Okay.
You play the role of i-fone attorney. Yes.
At some point, I think that IF should win because i-fone, the Apple company already won maybe 3 or 4 similar cases on trademark dispute, and for this one is make a new age of Apple company. I think that how to protect their trademark wisely. Yeah, and because but from my personal point of view, I think that there has I language. So yeah, there has I language. So I think that maybe iPhone should win the trademark.
Yeah, because I try to imagine if I live in Mexico. Well, I've never been there, but I try to imagine if I live in Mexico, and you know, it would be really confusing because it's very, because they the pronunciation of iPhone and IF are exactly the same. And how could I tell the difference? And then probably I would, well, even I know there are different companies, but maybe I will have well, I have an impression that these two companies probably they associate with each other. Well, I would say it's a very reasonable, you know, reasonable imagination or reasonable, you know, impression that these two companies are, you know, associated with each other. Then that definitely will cause damage to iPhone, right? To Apple company. Even IF registered first, but nobody know IF. At least I don't know that. This is the first time I know, oh, there's an IF company in Mexico. Never heard about that. So, what do you think? Because you're the lawyer representing IF company.
Actually, IF company is the telecommunication service and system. So it's like different category, I think, because one is providing the upper systems and service, but iPhone is like a real products. So IF didn't provide this kind of products, and is it hard for our group to find some information in on the internet, because IF is no one knows exactly, and yeah, and it's all Spanish websites, and also the website of IF is provide little information. So and nowadays iPhone is still selling in Mexico, and there's no one forbid that.
But if they lost the case, do they really have to pay 40% of the profits? Apple company earned in Mexico.
I think this is in the process, because it's this year's course. Yeah, yeah.
This is a new case now.
Yes, you haven't finished.
Oh.
It's a new process, I think.
Well, I'm surprised that this kind of case has not been settled before they go into the courthouse. They did not try to settle the dispute.
This is the dispute from the IF, like from the IF, from the defendant of. Yeah, this 40% is from IF. They
yeah, they
for
request
the,
that they
but Apple seems not to want that take it, don't want to take it, maybe zero, they don't want to pay anything.
But then why did you say that the IF company win the case?
The thing, we think, I think is IF, the company, they have the right to use the trademark of iPhone. But because iPhone, Apple iPhone already been selling in Mexico, so
Right.
IF has the right to ask for some compensation.
Okay, so our company can sell their products in Mexico,
Yes.
and then IF company can keep providing telecommunication service, but that 40% profit is unknown. You don't know if the IF company can get it or not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. All right. Well, and oh, there's something I think very interesting about the secondary meaning. For example, like McDonald's. So how about Kentucky Fried Chicken? Same is also a secondary meaning. Is KFC is it also secondary meaning?
I'm not sure, because it's on KFC it's only 3 letters, so it can be any kind of abbreviation for some specific words. So
Because
it
when
depends on which products it sells.
When I went to China, I saw something very similar to KFC. Everywhere, it's also fried chicken restaurant, fast food restaurant. So I'm just interested if what is that? Max Sleep? Max Sleep Quality Inn? Is that Max Sleep Quality Inn? So this case is McDonald, Sue, Max Sleep Quality Inn. And why? Because one is hotel and one is restaurant. Why? I don't understand. Did you try to check it out? Why they? Why? Yeah, I know, but Max Sleep is not a restaurant. They don't compete with each other.
It also has a restaurant, so they think what the cellmate refers to, the consumers may think that the restaurant belongs to the McDonald's.
So what is the name of owned by Max Sleep? It is called Max Sleep Restaurant.
Yes, Max Sleep. It's a inn.
Huh?
It's
It's a hotel, I know, but you know, for me, it's very confusing because I would never get confused between McDonald's and Max Sleep. They are so different. I mean, this is so unfair, you know, because I know you call it Mac language, but I think there's a lot of things, you know, beginning with Mac something, right? It cannot. So now, if in this case, McDonald's can win this case, then everything start with Mac will lose the case.
Mac language is very powerful. It's strong enough, so I think it will make it an argument to suit everything called Mac, probably. Like that.
Well, as a law person, I have to say it is so unfair. Is that is that a new case? What year is that? Do you know what year is this? 20 years ago. Oh wow, long time ago. Ah, this is so unfair. I mean, so you can never use Mac something as the name or your mark or the name or your business, and I don't know, it's so unfair. But on the other hand, i-fone versus i-f, I would say it's very easy to get confused because they pronounce the same. So well, I wish I could know more details of these two decisions because I would like to know what is the reasoning of the judge. Why this case, McDonald win the case, it prevails, and why in i-fone versus i-f, i-fone lost this case. You did not check. You did not try to check into the details of the decision, the court decision.
Oh, the court decision of McDonald is like Mac. Actually, it's no longer the original meaning of Mac is son of someone. But now Mac, the prefix Mac, already become when we use when it is used as Mac Sleep or McDonald, it represents as convenience, cleanness, and fast. It's not fast food but fast, like fast service.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why. And for I language, what the question we may ask the audience is that I maybe have another meaning. The original meaning of I is internet, but maybe I now has more meaning than internet.
Okay. Very interesting. Okay. Anyway, I just have some question because this is a very interesting topic, and the presentation is amazing. Very impressive, done by 5 students who are not law students. I just have to say, I just can believe my ear, my eyes. You know, I need to talk to my student in law school. What happened to them? Why can't they do something so?
In fact, we have 2 law students right here.
But they
Excellent presentations 3 weeks ago.
But they are undergraduate students, right?
Yes, freshmen.
Yeah. So, but you know, in my college, graduate students, I've never seen a presentation done so well, so impressive in graduate school. But of course, I never offer any such kind of class in undergraduate school, so I have no idea what kind of performance the